Many people around the world celebrated holidays this weekend, many of them poker players. But miss out on a Sunday Million? Sorry, Easter Bunny. Poker must be played. This is your final 9, and this is your Sunday Million Highlights show. I'm David Tuckman. Jan Frid is our chip leader as we start the action. Hand number 15, blinds at 150,000, 300,000. And there is your chip leader. Jan Frid finished runner-up in the Sunday Million in December of last year. LOL, Lawson, also has won a Sunday Second Chance. He's going to raise, make it 2x. When I say 2x, I mean 2 times the big blind. Quinn 520. Just over 7 million chips. He's going to pass, pick a better spot. Action on Chris D6. And he's going to make the call out of the small blind. The double gap suited connector. Guesty going to pass. And we'll see this one heads up. Pot just over 1.77 million chips. King 8-7. This could be the issues, obviously, when you have a hand like 10-7. You're ahead. But it's really, really tough to know that. You're out of position. There's the C-bet from LOL. Chris going to make the call. Well, he picks up a diamond draw now. Don't think he's going to go anywhere just yet. LOL with just under 12 million chips. Going to fire that second bullet. Tough for Chris to know what to do here. He's just going to call. Now down to 4.6 million chips. And the river's an ace. Ooh, it's a tough hand there. Really nothing you can beat if you're Chris. He checks one more time. And if you're LOL, he is going to take a detour out of Value Town and stop in Checkdown City. LOL up to over 17 million chips, now 18 million chips as we jump ahead to hand 23. Chris recovers a little bit. He's up to 6.3 million again now. Guesty all in for 4.2 million. That's about 14 big blinds. Tilt 21 with the ace-queen. Probably thinking he was going to shove with the ace-queen. But when somebody shoves in front of him, he's going to pick a better spot now. Afret. Can't imagine him calling this with Jack-9. LOL with the ace-queen, though. Is he going to make this call? Oh, wow. Great spot for Molik, 44. Not only is he going to shove here with the kings, but we've already seen 3 aces dead. He's in a fantastic spot to triple up. Blind's obviously not going to play this hand. Ace-king, ace-queen, and kings. Unless Molik 44 gets really unlucky. Remember, 3 of the aces are already dead. The main pot, 13.3 million. The side pot, about 2 million. You can see the percentages. Molik 44, an enormous favorite here. Here's the flop. Oh, are you kidding me? The case ace? Oh, that's just unfair. It's absolutely unfair. Oh, that's painful. 3 hearts on the river. Guesty 001 is going to win the main pot. LOL wins the side pot. And for Molik 44, it's a tough spill to follow. He's gone in 9th place. From Poland, takes home $12,748. Blind still 153. 8-handed. 1 Connor B1. Raises minimum 2x. Over to Chris DX. I don't think you can make this call. I mean, I think if you're going to play the ace-8, and you're only 20 big blinds deep, I mean, I think you almost have to 3-bet this or fold. I mean, I know you're in position. I just don't think you're deep enough to make this kind of call. John Fried in the big blind folds and heads up ace-10, ace-8. 7-6-4. Not much there for either player. Chris has got a gut shot. Not really the flop you're looking for, though, when you have ace-8 of spades. Continuation bet from one Connor. Let's see what he does. That's about 1/3 of the pot. And Chris is going to float. King of hearts. And one Connor can definitely represent that king. He's also picked up a flush draw. And he's going to check. Don't like this check at all. I mean, the king is a perfect barrel card. He's going to let his opponent take this one away. Just don't like it at all. There are cards that I probably would not fire a second bullet on. If the board had paired, you know, if an 8 comes off, a 5 comes off. And one Connor is going to check raise all in here as he picks up the nut flush draw. But you got to realize, though, if your opponent actually had a pair, though, now he's almost pot committed. I'm not sure if you get a better hand to fold by check raising all in if you're one Connor. Well, who am I, though? One Connor is final table at the W Coupe event, and that was just last year, so got to give him the benefit of the doubt. And just in that case, though, I just thought the king was a perfect barrel card. Get a raise here from LOL with the 7s. One Connor. Definitely going to play the jacks. Just a question of does he just call or does he 3-bet? He's going to call. Chris now down to just 3.5 million chips. Tilt 21 in the big blind with Dolly Parton. I don't think he's going to play that one. And John Fried from Spain, still our chip leader with over 20 million chips, going to pass as well. Pot just over 2.5 million chips. 10-10-6. And not necessarily a bad flop for either player, at least in their eyes. There's a continuation bet from LOL. One Connor going to make the call. Three of diamonds changes nothing. Both players probably still think they're ahead. LOL continues firing. And my guess would be that one Connor is going to continue calling. Yeah, I don't think you can raise with jacks at this point. I think that would be overplaying them. Ace of spades, that might slow down both players. LOL is going to check. And one Connor checks behind. And he is going to win this pot up to 17.2 million chips. LOL down to just over 12 million. Both players healthy, though. We're going to jump ahead to hand 52. One Connor up to almost 20 million. LOL back down below 10 million. Chris on life support now. Under 2 million chips. He's got about 4.5 big blinds. And you imagine he'll shove here with an ace. He does shove. And he's not going to like it. Because as we fold around, we can see that LOL has got ace-king in the big blind. It's almost an automatic call for LOL with any two cards. With ace-king, it's snap. There's the call from LOL. Ace-king against ace-5. And unless Chris gets incredibly lucky, he will be our 8th place finisher. 6-3-3. Well, a 6 chops it up. A 6 or a 9 or a 5 to save Chris's tournament life. That's not going to do it. The Queen of Clubs on the river. And Chris D6713 from Athens, Greece, is gone in 8th place. $18,900. $917 richer. 7 players remain. The Sunday Million. The Easter Sunday version. Tell you, I'm still stuffed from Easter. Blinds have jumped up to 250,000, 500,000. And with that, the raises have as well. LOL, starting raise to 1 million. Quinn's going to make the call with the 9s. John in the big blind with ace-7. Ace-7, not necessarily a hand you want to play from out of position. And Jean-Fried decides to pass, even getting the good price. 3-3 deuce, 2 spades. Great flop for aces. Absolutely fantastic flop. You've got to realize that you have 2 pair, and it's going to be very difficult for your opponent to catch up to you. 3s and deuces not usually in your opponent's range. Quinn all in here, and in really, really bad shape. Needs running spades or a 9. That's not going to help him. A 9 and only a 9 on the river. One time. No, not going to happen. 10 of spades on the river, and Quinn, 520 from the West Midlands in the UK, is gone in 7th place. Does take home nearly $33,000. Jean-Fried, the player who started the action at the final table as our chip leader, finally speaks, raises under the gun with the ace-jack, and gets promptly 3-bet. Talk about lack of respect. LOL, 3-bets him with the same hand. Folds around back to Jean-Fried. I'd like to see what he does. Or she. I don't think you want to call this. Yep, he's going to 4-bet. I was going to say, I mean, ace-jack, offsuit, out of position, a really tough hand to play. And instead, he is going to use his image, use his chips. He's going to 4-bet, and he is, once again, our chip leader, up to over 22 million chips. Well, if you want to play in this tournament for free, PokerStars is giving you that opportunity. We give a tournament a free roll, and all you got to do is click on the right buttons and wait for the password. That's coming later.
We are anticipation. Committed. Anonymous. Focused. Holding it in. We are poker.
Welcome back. That's right, 6 players remain. Hand 68, this is what it looked like. Jean-Fried, our chip leader, 1B Connor 1, right behind him. Players are going to shuffle up a little bit, but still, Jean-Fried on top, and then 5 players right behind him. Blinds 300,000, 600,000. This is a Sunday Million Highlights show, and once again, I'm David Tuckman. Guesty, ace-9. Imagine a raise might come here. Or maybe not. There's the raise from Guesty. Over to tilt 21. By the way, 1,170 players cashed in this event. Crazy numbers yesterday. Tilt 21, all in for his tournament life. I don't think anybody can call this. Well, I know nobody should call this. We'll see what Guesty does. You just can't call off with ace-9. You can't call off with ace-9, Guesty. Really? Seriously? Normally, I would say that's bad poker. But in light of the fact that these 6 players already made a deal, maybe that's the explanation. Nonetheless, though, Guesty 001 needs the board to pair or a 9 that's not a heart. Bam! 9-ball corner pocket. And Guesty 001 doubles up and is now our chip leader. Tilt 21 stead gone in 6th place. And as I mentioned, courtesy of that deal, he had already secured himself 6 figures. He takes home $115,000. These players are still playing for a significant sum, though. And, of course, the title as the champion of the Sunday Million. A raise from John. And an all-in from 1B Connor 1. I tell you, you'd think that they've secured themselves 6 figures and they're playing for pennies. No, they're playing for $30,000 still. Well, there's the push from 1B Connor. And the call from Jean Fried. 10-4 deuce. Not much there for 1B Connor 1. Needs a 7. And only a 7. That's not a 7. That's the 3 of diamonds. And 1B Connor 1 from the UK takes home $129,000. Not a bad payday for Easter Sunday. 4 players remain. Jean Fried, our chip leader, again with $33.5 million. LOL almost certainly going to push here. And my guess would be that Jean Fried is going to make the call. We're at hand 97. All hell is broken loose. These guys make a deal, and it's almost as if the money left on the table is insignificant to them. We're talking about $30,000 still. Ace-7 deuce, and Jean Fried has flopped the set. LOL with 2 outs, 1 card to come. Oh, look at that. Wow. It all went in pre-flop. So it's not like he got really sucked out on, but a painful way to lose if you're Jean Fried. LOL, back up to 25.1 million chips. Probably going to see a raise here and then a push from Offrit. 4-handed, you get a raise from the button. You've got an ace in the small blind. You've only got about 12 or 13 big blinds. I like the push. I think your ace-deuce is going to be ahead of your opponent's range enough of the time to make this push profitable. Unfortunately for him, Jean has woken up with a bigger ace. You can see that Offrit about a 3-1 dog. Pot just over 18.5 million chips. King, Queen, 3. Not much there from Offrit. Oh, there's a deuce. Look at that on the turn. Jean Fried needs a jack or a 10. That's not going to do it. And Offrit doubles up to over 18.5 million chips. Jean Fried, now our short stack with 4 players remaining. Get a raise and a 3-bet. And now it's over to Jean Fried in the big blind. He's going to shove with the queens. Don't think Offrit's going to make the call, but I'd be shocked to see LOL fold this. Especially the way the action has played out so far. There's the call. Pot over 25 million chips. King, Queen, 7. A set for Jean Fried. And LOL is drawing dead. Jean Fried going to double up to nearly 26 million chips. Full house. Queens full of 6s. Blind still 300,000, 600,000. Still plenty of play. I mean, for a tournament, these guys aren't that shallow, with the exception of LOL right now, who's at about 15 big blinds. Everybody else here has got at least, say, 35 big blinds. A raise from Guesty. Offrit makes the 3-bet. Back over to Guesty 001. He's going to just call. I thought he might shove. Jack 10-5, and we can see fireworks here. You can see that it's literally a coin flip. Guesty with a pair. Offer it with the overcards and the open-ended straight draw. A 9, an ace, a king, or a queen would win it for offer it. Guesty with one of the blockers in his hand. Not a great day for the Team PokerStars pros yesterday. Such a talented group of poker players. Jose Nacho Barbero was the final finisher, I should say. He exited it in 681st place yesterday. Offer it checks. Guess he's going to bet $3 million. Probably pretty confident that he has the best hand right now. And he's going to get called by offer it. River's a 6. And what do you do if you're offer it? You don't really have any showdown value with king high. He's going to check. Looks like he gives up here. And is Guesty going to check it back? He does check it back. And he's going to win that pot. 8,225 runners started this tournament. We are down to our final 4. Hand 115. Blind still 300,000, 600,000. LOL all in with the king 9 of spades. I don't mind it at all. Unfortunately for him, he's going to walk into John Fried's ace queen. He's got live cards, though. The power of being the pusher. 2 ways to win the pot. Obviously, you can get your opponent to fold. And hey, you can always win in showdown. LOL, not a huge underdog here. And now he's a favorite. Jack 9 deuce. He's got second pair. 10 of hearts. He's got to fade a lot of cards. John Fried has picked up a straight draw. Does not complete it, though, and LOL doubles up. Back up over 21 million chips.
We are 10,000 people in Brazil, holding our breath. We are alone. Hunters. Hunted. We are committed. Blessed. Calm. We are all in. We are poker.
These commercials get me pumped up every time. Well, this is what you were waiting for. The password is here. Queenstown. Write it down. Make sure you play in that online poker show free roll and get your butt in this tournament. Who knows? You could win 6 figures, life-changing money for nothing. We're going to jump ahead to hand 120. Guesty, our chip leader, with over 35 million chips. Blinds now 400,000, 800,000. He's going to raise with the 5s. Jean Fried's going to push it all in with the ace-10. Guess he's not going to fold this. No way. If you call off with ace-9 for your tournament life, there's no way you're going to fold 5s when you've got your opponent covered. Not a good flop for Guesty. King, Queen, 10, 2 diamonds out there. Jean Fried way ahead. And now has a stranglehold on this. Guesty with 1 out. And that's not going to do it. Jack of clubs on the river, and Jean Fried doubles up to over 23 million chips. Well, the way the chips are flying around right now, it really is anybody's tournament. Blinds 400,000, 800,000. LOL with ace-10. He's going to shove them all in. Guesty going to go all in over the top with the jacks. Offer it with the pocket 5s. He might have called 1 all-in. I don't think he's going to call 2, though. Nope, he's going to let it go. Ace-10 against jacks. And LOL's tournament life on the line. He's at risk. So far, nothing there for him. 6-3 deuce, 2 hearts. Queen of spades on the turn. Not going to help him. Needs an ace and only an ace on the river. And that's not going to do it. The 6 of hearts on the river seals his fate. LOL from Norway, out in 4th place, takes home $110,000. Once again, astounding numbers for the Sunday Million. Over 8,200 runners, 6 players making 6 figures. A raise from Jean. Offret all in. Jean Fried obviously going to make this call. Ace-King against 5s, the classic race. Let's see who gets lucky. Queen 4 deuce. So far, so good for Offret. Deuce of spades on the turn. And the river is the 9 of clubs, and the 5s hold up. Up to over 28 million chips. And Jean Fried down to below 10 million. He's got about 10 big blinds. Guesty's going to set a trap. And Jean Fried does not fall for it. I was pretty sure Guesty was just calling there with the intention of calling off. Oh, wow, what a flop. Look at this. Guesty flops a straight with a straight flush redraw. A bet from Guesty, a call from Jean with second pair. Guesty bets 1.6 million. And Jean Fried is going to shove it all in. He's drawing dead. Guesty makes the call, and that is going to be it for Jean Fried. Once again, Jean Fried finished runner-up in the Sunday Million in December of last year. Now, just 4 months later, he finishes in 3rd place. The Spaniard taking home over $150,000. And we are heads up. Start with 8,225 players. It's inevitable. It will eventually come down to 2. Offret from Norway, Guesty from the UK. King 8-7, 2 diamonds out there. Both players get a piece of it. Guesty with top pair, in control. He's going to bet 3 million. Offret's going to make the call. Ace of clubs changes nothing. Might be a scare card for both players, though. Pot 14.2 million. Can Offret represent... Well, he probably thinks he has showdown value. River's a 3 of hearts, and that really shouldn't change anything. Guesty's going to bet 3 million. Kind of a blockish value bet. And at this point, Offret's got to realize, I'm probably not good, and that's exactly what he does, and he folds. Guesty up to about 60 million chips. Offret down to about 23 million. About a 3-to-1 chip advantage for Guesty. Guesty limps in on the button. Offret says, okay, let's see a flop. 7-6-3, pair of 3s. For Guesty. Offret with the overcards, plus the straight draw. Take a look at the percentages. Wouldn't be shocked at all if I saw a check raise here from Offret. Guesty bets 1 million. And Offret's just going to call this. I'm probably check raising. I'm probably going to play the 9-8 of hearts a little bit stronger. Unlikely my opponent has much of a hand. I mean, then again, you're not going to get him to fold a 6 or a 7 ever. And it goes check, check. And the 4 clubs. And betting now, I'm not sure. Well, I mean, if you bet now, maybe you can get, obviously, you can get a queen high, a king high, a jack high to fold. You're obviously never going to get a pair to fold. I don't think Guesty's going to fold this. No, he's going to make this call. I think you have to call with any pair. You're probably even going to call with any ace high. But you bet with the 9-8 to get, like, you know, some random queen jack, queen 10 hand to fold. Blinds 500,000, 1 million. Alfred raises on the button. Guesty 001 makes the call. Both players with the king. Guesty has him out kicked. And, well, he's now out flopped him as well. Kind of an unconventional play there. Call the raise pre-flop and then lead right into your opponent. Offred picks up a straight draw. Goes check, check. Second time in a row, Offred has picked up a straight draw and decided to play the hand a little bit passively. And he hasn't gotten there. And both times, Guesty wins the hand. I'm not sure if he gets Guesty to fold regardless. More of an observation than a criticism. Offred's all in. I think Guesty's going to call this. And he does make the call. Hand 189. And you can see that Guesty is a favorite to win the hand and win the match right here. Offred's got live cards, though. And as you saw from the percentages, is not a huge dog. King 6-3. Offred, not much there for him yet. Needs an 8 or a 7 on the river, or this is it. And that's it. 9 of clubs on the river, and Offred is gone in second place. Let's give him a lot of credit. The Norwegian finishes as runner-up. Takes home $118,000. But our champion, Guesty, I tell you, when these players made a deal, Guesty really put it on the line. He said, I want to win it all. And the player from the UK does just that. Takes home a hefty payday, plus the Sunday Million title. He'll remember this Easter for a long, long time. What a day. 6 players at the final table make 6 figures. Wow. Well, as always, all the action and all the highlights here on PokerStars.tv. Until next time, I'm David Tuckman. Reach for the stars.